your ways. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truths. You are the God of my salvation. I wait on you. You have to be willing to truly wait on God. If you want him to show you his path, then you have to follow what his path is. You can't say, show me his path and jump ahead of it. Because in Psalm 27 it says in verse 1, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Well, you have to really believe what you're saying. And the enemy will come test you to see if you truly believe it, all right? Then, the other thing about Psalm 25, when you get to verses 6, 7, and 11, is, pardon me, remember your tender mercies and loving kindness from of old. Remember not the sins of my youth. Remember not my transgressions. Forgive me according to your mercy and goodness. Isn't that something? In Ecclesiastes, it's written, remember the Lord in the days of thy youth, while the evil day comes not. So you want to remember God when you're young and strong and everything is great, as opposed to when you're old, on life support, they about to pull the plug, and now I'm going to try to remember the Lord in the last minutes of my bed here. You can get saved, but you missed out on the quality of what you could have had because you didn't come at it the way you could have. You follow me? So you want to remember him at the right time. And then down there in verse 25, in Psalm 25, verse 8 through 11, it says, teach me while I walk in the way. Guide me in judgment. Isn't that something? Teach me your ways. Lead me in paths of mercy and truth. Help me keep your covenant and testimonies and forgive my sins. These are the things that you have to come to God with in terms of a sincere heart. And a pure and sincere heart, like David expressed in Psalms 51, makes all the difference in the world between forgiveness and not having forgiveness. Psalms 51, often referred to, I'll close, is referred to as the sinner's prayer. And what did David say there when he was busted? He says, have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according to the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Okay? Forgive me of all that I've done. He says, wash me from iniquity and cleanse me from my sins. Only God can do that. But the verse 3 in Psalms 51, for I acknowledge my transgression and my sin is ever before me. Verse 4, against thee only have I sinned and done evil in thy sight. We got to understand that the sin that we engage in, it might appear to be against other people, or people might appear to be sinning against us. But if it's against God's word, the sin is against God. And you don't want to have any sins against God laid to your charge. You follow me? And that's why a marriage has to be a triangle. Because if God is at the center of this thing, when one person messes up, the other one can't say, well, since you did unto me, now I'm going to do unto you before you do unto me again. Now we're going back and forth. But if the one that's supposedly the victim realizes that God is in charge, then that person's prayers is going to go up, and they're not going to treat this one any differently, and God is going to come down and take care of this situation over here.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the way it has to be. And in that relationship, he will take care of it. Outside of marriage, with other people in your life, he'll do the same thing. People who are taking advantage of you, all you have to do is go up, and he will come down and take care of that piece over there. Okay? So we get that, see. So once we get these concepts in, and we're spending our time in confession, we're spending our time in prayer, we're spending our time reading God's word, now we have a change that is taking place. Because we're at peace. We're not all hurried and stressed and upset. Okay? We can sit on the couch while the earthquake hits 8.2 on the Richter scale. And you can look out the window and watch people running, and you sitting there relaxed. Because it's going to be all right in your house. You don't have to worry about it. Okay? I don't jump up when we have it. I'll tell this last one. It was Mother's Day before Dolores' mother passed. And we had service. And we went to see Moms. We were sitting around, and her brother was there. And we were all sitting around the table with Mom. And we had this violent earthquake here. This was like 3 or 4 years ago on a Sunday. And everything started going, woo, 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 woo. And her brother was, oh. And I'm sitting there real calm at the table. I'm just watching everybody. And everybody's having all these reactions to this earthquake, you know? And I'm just sitting there in this collar. And I wasn't trying to do this, but it was just amazing to me to watch the level of panic that people had in a situation that they could do nothing about, that God was totally in control of, you know? But how you stand with God will often, it will make a difference in how you handle this stuff, okay? Because the intellectuals are going to be running. People are going to have issues. But if you're standing right, you don't have to worry about it. God is going to take care of you. He's going to make it. He's going to make it. If somebody has to survive, you got to take the position. If there's going to be a survivor, it's going to be me.
It's going to be me, for sure.
Okay? And when we do that, you've seen the stories where a plane has crashed and everybody on the plane got killed, but over in the field they find a baby.
Yes. Yes.
Laying in the field alive without a scratch on it. Not in a seat or nothing, just laying on the ground like, huh? Everything is burned up, everybody else is dead, but this one little baby's laying over here just kicking and crying, have no idea what just happened. Okay? God can do the same thing for you that he does for that child. But you just have to believe that he's in charge, all right? So take this list I gave you, go through it, spend some time in it, come on out to prayer on Wednesday. If we do nothing else in this house but get you into this prayer mode, I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference, because the day is coming when everybody around you is going to be looking for somebody who knows how to pray. And the very person who was laughing at you praying is going to be the one at your door saying, please pray for me. Okay? They're going to be real serious. Now you all know the movie Noah just came out. Noah just came out, right? And people running to see Noah. And I was explaining something to my wife when we were looking at the previews. And I don't know how many of you caught this in the previews. You know that in the preview, you got water shooting up from everywhere. Do you know why that's happening? Because if you read the word, what took place was, when the flood came, the water came up and the water came down.
Yeah.
Water came both ways. It didn't just rain. The water came up out of the ground in terms of covering everything. You see? And so, the same way God made that provision there to take care of Noah, he is looking to take care of you the same way. All right? He's looking to take care of us the same way. And if you are doing anything in terms of watching the news or Discovery or whatever, you know stuff is really between Russia. We over here worried about Putin. We were trying to offer him some gifts and stuff. You can't offer Putin. Putin is on a course that's set out in the book of Revelation. He is on a course that's set out in Ezekiel. Putin is right on schedule with God's timetable. We just haven't read the book. Okay? Because if you read the book, you will see what's happening. Putin has a date with destiny. Russia, Iran, they all got a date with Armageddon. And that date is coming up, and all of this stuff is moving us toward that date. All the prophecies have been fulfilled. And guess what? America ain't even mentioned in the Bible.
No.
You know the only place that you find America? When you spell the word Jerusalem. USA. Jerusalem. We're not mentioned. We're not in it. Okay? So this is a serious time that we're in. The things that are happening are related to the fulfillment and the last days we're living in. And the biggest trick of the enemy is to have you think that everything is all right and it's going to be business as usual. When the doors of the ark was closed, we're told that people were still partying, getting married. They were doing stuff like it was going to last forever. Okay? And that wasn't the case. So I encourage you to see that. I don't know what Hollywood did with it. Remember, it took Noah 127 years to build that boat, and people were laughing at him doing it, all right? So let us stand.